Okay, back with you on the Bronx Buzz. You know, I love when my friends come on the show, and it is my buddy Alex Simmons. And Alex, nice to have you with us. Listen, the credits, I got pages of them. Award-winning freelance writer, screenplays, playwright, teaching artist, comic book creator, educational consultant, father of the kids who went to school with my kids. So we've been around together a long time. This is very
That's my
exciting.
proudest point right there.
Yeah, I guess so. This is very exciting. So people might know that you are the creator of the acclaimed adventure book series Blackjack, but now there's a new character. Now you didn't create this character. This is Captain America, the Shield of Sam Wilson. Tell me all about this character and where it's at.
Well, in short, Sam Wilson appeared years ago in Marvel Comics as the Falcon, and he became a partner, sidekick, however one wants to look at that, to Captain America, aka Steve Rogers. And what happened was that over the years, Sam began to develop his own, some of the certain storylines. He became even more formidable as the Falcon, going off on solo adventures of his own, teaming up with other superheroes in the Marvel Universe. And then, as people who may know from the movies, Captain America, Steve Rogers, met Sam when he came back into the present after he was revived. They began to work together, and eventually, after Endgame, Sam received the shield from Steve himself, saying, "You are now Captain America." So Sam has been on this journey to find out what it means to be Captain America, a Black Captain America in present day United States of America. And it's had its highs and lows.
Is it really that contemporary? I mean, present day.
Yes.
We know who was just
absolutely.
elected president. I mean,
Yeah,
so it's in that context.
As a matter of fact, the new movie that's coming out, Captain America, that's coming out, number 4, I believe, is coming out in a matter of was it a month or so? Very shortly. Anyway, let me just put it that way. Sam has to deal with the new president of the United States, played by Harrison Ford, who eventually becomes a super powered individual himself, and Cap has to go up against him. So in certain ways, it's prophetic. Its timing is unreal.
Unreal, yeah. I just want to ask you in general. I mean, I know we talked, of course, on the air about the creation of Blackjack. Now this is another Black superhero. Talk about the imperative of doing this and what you believe and probably witness the effect of having Black superheroes on the children of the Bronx and the children of the world.
Well, I mean, I'll do it as succinctly as I can, because I know we don't have a lot of time. But I was born and raised in the 1950s, and for the first 12 years of my life in particular, maybe the first 15, as far as mainstream heroes on television, in the major feature films and all of that, there were no heroes of color. The few that I had Tonto as a partner of the Lone Ranger for a few years, and then I had Alexander Scott, partner to Kelly Robinson, in a TV series called I Spy. So you had a Native American, and then you had a Black character as heroes. But for the first 20 years of my life, it really wasn't there on a large scale. So what's happened over the decades is there have been more and more African Americans and people of color put into mainstream stories, which is imperative and important, because people need to see someone like themselves on that screen doing positive things, affecting and influencing society the way it really does. So Sam Wilson's contribution to the Marvel universe is prominent, not as prominent as, say, the Black Panther, but then that's another great example of when the Black Panther movie came out. There were kids of all colors and sizes running around dressed as T'Challa, the Black Panther, because they just saw a fantastic superhero and a fantastic story. So I think it's imperative that we do stories that have people of color and different backgrounds and races and religions and life choices, because we need to represent the real society that exists on this planet. And to do that, it starts with, who do I see standing up for me, doing the right things on the
Exactly.
big screen.
You know, this, listen, we could have a whole sociological discussion. You and I are about the same age. I grew up the same time. I, of course, was never aware that that was missing, but you as a child recognized that and said, wait a minute, where am I? Where am I? Put me in
Yep.
there. So this is a volume. This is a book of stories about.
This is a collection. This is a collection of short stories written by 11 to 12 different writers. I'm, honored to be one of them. And it was put together by, I should say, edited and organized, orchestrated by Jesse Holland, who's a great writer and a professor and an editor and a journalist and a number of other fantastic things. So you've got 11 to 12 great stories in there, all adventures of Sam Wilson, all showing some aspect of his journey as a hero, as a superhero, and as an African-American hero and superhero in the world in which we exist.
Were you asked to participate, or did you already have the story? I want to get into a little bit about the creative process.
Jesse Hollins again came to me a few years back and asked me to be a part of the anthology that was written about T'Challa. It was called Black Panther Tales of Wakanda. So I had a short story in that. And when the opportunity came for us to do a Captain America Sam Wilson anthology, he was nice enough to ask me again. And I went, oh yeah, I'm there. And so I jumped right on it. And this has been a year or so in the works. So this was just released January 14th of 2025. So the book's available in Amazon and any other place you can get your hands on a great book. So people should be getting their hands on this great book.
Captain America, The Shield of Sam Wilson. Now, give us a little bit. I don't want to steal the thunder from it, but what kind of story did you come up with? I don't give it all away, but what was the inspiration in that?
In my story, I went back to touch on something that I hadn't seen them deal with for a while, which is Sam Wilson's parents, because his father was a minister, much like Martin Luther King, and yesterday was Martin Luther King Day. His father was a minister who was shot down in a violent act on the streets of Harlem. And that had an impact on Sam's life. His mother died a year or so later. So to me, I felt that while he's on this journey to figure out where he fits into the world these days and what he represents, I wanted to do a story that also took him back to the people that had a major influence on his life and the values that they shared with him. Because I think it's very important that we understand that, again, whoever you are, if you're a parent, you pass on certain perceptions and preconceptions and values and lessons and some other things to your offspring, to your children. To your children. And you got to hope that they can do the best they can with that. So that's the storyline. And he has to go up against a super scientific villainous organization called AIM, who are messing with time control. And so it's a big deal with what he has to do and an ethical choice he has to make.
You may or may not know, I teach people how to be on television, on radio and television. One of the things that is imperative, who is your audience? Who are you talking to? When you put something like this together, I know part of you wants to educate young people. Is this written in a way that is for young people? Is it for adults? Do you think about who might be reading this? Or do you just simply spit out whatever story you got and you do it? Or do you really write it for an audience?
I try not to spit out anything other than occasionally a bad piece of apple pie. But no, this is written as an all audience piece. In other words, there's no extreme violence, vulgarity, or profanity in a way that I feel that people of certain young age, as well as on up the ladder, couldn't find something in this story and shouldn't be held back from them. I think it's an all access piece. And I believe that once again, parents should, if you're going to show it to or read it to your younger kids, read it first yourself. But I think ultimately there shouldn't be anything really objectionable in the story. if you're looking for good stories about a heroic person or a person trying to figure out how do I fit into the world and how can I do good in the world.
And the language will work.
Yes, the language will definitely work.
Will work.
Yeah.
Listen, I know Alex is teaching. He's teaching film writing and
Yeah,
all that.
they're waiting for me.
They're waiting for you. One last question. Anything next? You got anything in the works, or you just living life every day?
Well, there's some stuff happening with my Blackjack character and Los Angeles, but nothing that I can talk about right now.
All right.
But I hope that I can bring that to you, to your table, sometime very soon.
When you can talk about it, you know my number.
Yeah, I know where you live.
That's right. We do live a couple of blocks away. Listen, Alex Simmons, Captain America: The Shield of Sam Wilson. Pick it up wherever books are sold and enjoy it. Enjoy it with you. And let's celebrate superheroes.
Yes. Take care, Gary. Thanks
Alex
a lot.
Simmons. Sure. Alex Simmons is one of them. There we go. We'll see you around town, my friend. So that will do it for the Bronx Buzz. Thank you to Stephen over at the Riverdale Press who joined us earlier. And you know what we say, if the curtain don't fall, the creek don't rise. We'll see you next week. Good night.